He still demolished everybody else and made them look like idiots, but there's no shame to be felt on their side. There's no amount of shaming that you can do. Like, it has to be material consequences. Because they showed up and they're like, yeah, I'm a fascist. The shame is gone. The mask is off. I took the Medhi Hasan Jubilee thing, my reaction to that, off the debate playlist that I had, because it's just not a debate. The more that I've watched other reactions to it, and particularly the ones that are not too keen on Jubilee in the first place, I'm not keen on their existence and what they do with their platform. But I think I treated it as a debate when it wasn't. And this video is kind of what made me realize that, and what made me make that move of taking my reaction off of my debate playlist, just referring to it as a debate at all. Hang on, I got the wrong fucking headphones in.
I mean, the whole thing is basically a stringing up in verbal form. Jubilee.
A stringing up in verbal form. That right there is the weight of that sentence is several tons. Holy shit.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
Did you see this Jubilee debate with Medhi Hasan?
Enough of it.
What did you think?
I mean, the whole thing is basically a stringing up in verbal form. Jubilee put Hasan in a room with a bunch of people who would gladly unalive him if they were in, the woods at night rather than a lit camera studio. One guy's literally shaking with adrenaline and barely restrained from actual violence, and Jubilee is trying to pretend like it's some form of fair and balanced debate. It's a mockery of debate to start with, and Hasan was completely right to say that he doesn't debate with fascists. There's no point in giving those type of views any type of platform in the first place. It's just a sign of how far into fascism we've already fallen, right? People don't like to think about it, but these are the everyday people that voted for Donald Trump. First of all, the fact that these people feel comfortable acting like this openly on media says one thing, and then the fact that the media feels comfortable putting it out is entirely another thing.
And I feel like the way we consume it is another important part, as not a spectacle, as not a verbal jousting, but as what it is, which was a setup in order to create the most toxic environment possible for discourse.
And this isn't the first time I've heard of something like this, right? About a month ago, the New York Times put out a paper about a student at the University of Florida who wrote this extremely racist paper about how the Constitution was written with the intent to only apply to white men, and how if we're interpreting it fairly, then everybody else should have their voting rights removed. Immigrants should be shot at the border, and everybody else should be forcibly expelled from the country, right? Basically just this paper full of hate. And his professor, who is a federal judge appointed by Trump, gave this student an award for being the seminar's top student. And for a while, the college was defending it by saying that it wouldn't be fair to judge somebody just because the college disagrees with their views,
What in the fuck? Yeah, this isn't up for debate, dude.
This is what we're talking about. And 6 of the judges on the Supreme Court are originalists that have the similar views to that we should interpret the Constitution based on how originally the Founding Fathers intended rather than modern day sensibilities. So there's nothing to say about it except that Hasan was right. You don't debate with fascists. You don't give them a platform, because by giving them a platform, you're implicitly saying that it is acceptable to debate about dehumanizing people, right? Because that's what fascists do. They dehumanize people, they pick an enemy, and they pretend that they're subhuman. And to debate with a fascist is to say that the value of a person's humanity is worth debating in the first place. And it's not.
Hey,
100%.
It's just to say that they pick an enemy and they pretend that they're subhuman. And to debate with a fascist is to say that the value of a person's humanity is worth debating in the first place. And it's not.
Chills. It gave me chills to think that I put my reaction in a playlist called Debates. I'll keep the video up because the reaction still stands as an appropriate reaction. Like he said, I think you can watch a portion of it and that would be enough just to see what we're working with.
So in this video, I'm going to break down just not this debate.
I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why? I don't want you here.
So this was essentially a debate on human decency. Why are we debating this?
I don't think it's a debate on human decency. I think it's a debate on... It's worse than that. It's a debate on whether or not certain people have value.
What is the actual point of this? What is the impact of this is what I'm most concerned about. So if you watch this and you're like, wow, Medhi Hasan did a great job. He really...
I think even if you are consuming it as a debate, you're still seeing the fascists lose at debate. I mean, the concessions that Medhi Hasan made were still appropriate. Was there a winner or a loser? If you do count Medhi's concession as a point against him, he still demolished everybody else and made them look like idiots. So... But there's no shame to be felt on their side. There's no amount of shaming that you can do. Like, it has to be material consequences.
killed their argument.
Because they showed up and they're like, yeah, I'm a fascist. The shame is gone. The mask is off, you know?
You are someone who's more informed. You're aware. You have human decency and maybe a little more awareness of reality than some people do. Because the actual impact of something like this is not a positive. We are platforming absolute lunatics, making it appear that these are even positions, perspectives worth engaging when they simply are not. And this leads into the discussions that existed around climate change.
Yeah, he says, despite how well he apparently did, I don't believe sunlight is the best disinfectant. Here's why I rejected Jubilee's invite and why I continue to believe these sorts of debates hurt more than they help.
And exists now around trans rights that have set us back years because of...
Yeah, those... I forgot how fucking goofy those early Jubilee videos were. I mean, they're all goofy, right? Like, we'll just scroll through. Oh, I've been watching the Handala all night, pretty much. Ugh. This is their newest one? I thought this was an old one. Oh, God. This was one of the worst ones. 20 protesters versus one Palestinian man. This dude is a traitor to Palestine and his people. One LGBTQ plus activist versus 25 conservatives. One conservative versus 20 feminists. Oh my god. What year is it, dude? That was 3 weeks ago. 6.6 million views. Even compared to their other videos, this one really popped off. 8 million views in 5 days. They got 2.4 in 2 months, 7.2 in 2 months, 6.6 in 3 weeks, 8 million in 5 days. Let's go by view count. Flat earthers? Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I want to see a flat earther clap their opinions toward a scientist. Yeah. Jesus. Oh my god. That is fucked. That is so fucked. Middle ground on flat earthers versus material reality. Oh my god. I mean, I I laugh because it's so out of pocket, you know? Versus 25 woke students. Who is the virgin? What? Who is the gay man? Who is not a rapper? Israelis versus Palestinians, middle ground, 6 years ago? Jesus, they've been fucked. Okay, so this is like Nazi reality television, basically. Like, if Nazis made a reality TV show, this is what it would be like. Bro. And Medhi isn't really enjoyed in progressive spaces because of his positions on the police and stuff like that. It could have been anyone with empathy, you know, debating a bunch of fascists, but he didn't know he was going into do that. This is a really fucked up one. A Dr. Mike versus 20 anti-vaxxers. Is being fat a choice? I feel like I'm getting dumber just reading the fucking titles and looking at the thumbnails. God.
Let's just jump straight into it because we've got half an hour. There's several hundred of you, and there's already a lot of questions in the chat. Let's see. Let's start with, okay, a good either. Barry Price says, how did you feel as you were attacked by these people? I didn't feel great, Barry. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy to put a brown Muslim immigrant into a room full of white supremacists and then...
And he didn't know that would be the situation he was going into. I think he thought he was going in to debate, like, immigration or something.
Expect to, have to deal with that stuff. Look, I love to argue and debate. Those of you who know me know I love to argue and debate. I literally wrote a book on it. It's one of the reasons I agreed to do this. So, oh, me versus 20. I like those odds. But I didn't expect this much open abuse, racist abuse to my face. Like, this is the America we live in now. One of the useful things that comes out of this debate is you can see for yourself what is out there now. We're not making this stuff up. This is the America we live in now. In Trump's America, people are emboldened to say stuff they would never dare say in public 5 or 10 years ago. Certainly not 15 or 20 years ago.
Like, he's talking pretty tactfully about what was more or less a traumatic experience for him. I'm happy to hear his takeaway from it. I don't know. People on Reddit were jumping down my throat for even reacting to it, you know.
People saying things to my face. Yeah, Barry, it wasn't great. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't think we should. I always say this, like Muslims, brown people, immigrants, black people. We're not born with thicker skins than everyone else. So, of course it hurts.
Anyway, just kind of shook me up. It just didn't sit well with me, the idea of framing that as a debate anymore. So, alright, take care.